So let me just kind of give you guys, what happened today, and then why Nvidia crashed, and then why I'm gonna walk you guys through why I made a post here, um, that in December I did mention a specific month, from February to April, and then I'm gonna explain why I think that way. Um, I said Nvidia crash minus 60% from February to April. I mean, at the time I was kind of looking at overall general fractals just based on what the fractal that has been created, right? So since then there's more information. So I have a different version, um, but still I do think that crash is coming, quite a big one, starting from as today. It hasn't arrived February, which means that they're running algo very fast. So I think it's really due to the, as you guys know, what happened last week about the Japanese interest rate hike, and that really just kind of like, hit things up, right? So it's pretty much like a carry trade again, which what happened in August last year. So there's a lot of volatility involved in the markets. So maybe the big funds, like maybe institutions, hedge funds, they maybe borrow a lot of money from from Japan, and that they use that money in U.S. stock market, and now they need to liquidate their assets to pay back the the interest rate and other stuff. So I think that's what's kind of happening right now. And they use the DeepSeek AI technology company from China. And it's very interesting how they bring this up, as the Nvidia is technically has to collapse, right? Like they already create that divergence, right? So I did mention this before, so I'm gonna walk you guys through this again because um, this is the only thing I saw. I mean, not only thing, but this is a very clear indication for me to confirm that Nvidia has to crash. And then I've been kind of talking about this for a while. And as you see, so there's two examples I can show you here. The first one is here, 2000. Which one is it? Is it? Oh yeah, first one is this one actually. So this is 2017, 18 October crash. As you can see, when you look at this blue and yellow line, but just focus on the yellow line, it's been kind of climbing up, right? But the most overbought territory was right there, right? RSI was the highest here. However, as this thing declined, right? This when you look at the yellow line, after it hit all-time high, it start to decline, right? But when you look at the price is moving up, right? Price has been continue moving up, right? This is same thing. People talks about, oh yeah, Bitcoin is 100K. Why talks about crash? It's the same. This is why I'm talking about it. We have a different vision. That's why, because I'm looking with the perspective of RSI divergence here, right? Bearish divergence. It's the same thing happening here. When RSI was all-time high in July here, this was all-time high. But as the RSI is slightly declined here, right? The price was continue moving higher, right? It's the same format, right? Same type of situation here, right? It's creating a wedge. However, the RSI was continued to decline, right? From the bottoms to this bottom here, right? When the all-time high was here, the price should, if the price moved up, the RSI is supposed to move up even higher. However, it's going down, right? And when the price was all-time high, the RSI is a lot lower than this one. And and then this is a crash, right? Same thing happened to 2007, right? When you go back to 2007 financial crisis, same fractals here, right? Similar fractals, similar indicators showing the bearish divergence here. So same thing. When you look at this yellow line and purple line here, this is overbought territory, right? This all-time high. It was right there, but as the prices has been continued to incline, RSI is moving down, right? If the price is higher than this one, the RSI is supposed to go higher, but RSI is going lower, right? They create this 1, 2, 3 and crash, right? Same thing happened here, right? Very similar situation. Nvidia was in overbought territory here, right? All-time high, and then 1, 2, 3, right? Do another one, and boom, crash. So yeah, there's the technically Nvidia is supposed to crash, and I think they've been dragging for a little bit more than I expected, but I think they were looking for that timing, and the timing was the Japanese interest rate hike that also kind of in line with that kind of carry trade. So I think there's a lot of factors here, I think, but that's maybe one of the factors. And they use that Chinese AI, interestingly, technology, and they've been like, oh yeah, they can surpass the Nvidia technology, all that, or US AI sector in general, which pretty much bring the fears in the market, and then just crash happen. And then who brought this kind of thing in this timing, and then when you think about it, that could be a market maker, that could be a big institutions, that needs to liquidate their assets, and they can just rock pull this one, because if they just rock pull minus 16-17% in a day, that will be some sort of market what do you call that, market manipulation, right? So they need a news, they need some sort of a, I don't know, some story, they need some sort of events, and I think that's why they kind of set it up this one to crash this one. And then because the today drop, I didn't expect this much, because I was thinking about more like coming down like this, but this algo has sped up really fast. So now the algo, instead of kind of climbing down like this, like staircases, it just dropped really instantly. So we are actually going through a much faster pace, and which is better maybe. But yeah, that's kind of where we at. FOMC is coming up. I do expect maybe some sort of a possible positive kind of momentum here. However, this thing will continue to crash after FOMC meeting, and then yeah, I can, and maybe I can finish this one with that, because I don't want to go through this whole thing again. So that's kind of what happened today, based on my fractals, and seems working pretty well. I know there's a lot of people who are into GameStop, right? Some people, many people kind of ask me, what's going to happen to GameStop, right? Because has been dropping for a for a while, right? Now I can maybe reveal maybe some of the fractals here, and then of course this they might not run like that, but I think there are several factors that that could also match with why this could happen this way, So let me start with this one. So somebody who shared this theory about the Japanese interest rate hike, and then he did some comparison here, which is very nice. But one thing that I realized that helps me a lot to connect with the dots and the fractals that I'm seeing is this guy. This guy Sense33 kind of asked him, in March 2024 they raised. They means Japan, right? So Japan raised 0.2%. Now it's 0.25. So we should see some positive momentum on GameStop soon, you think, right? So it's very interesting, because I did point this out. I replied to this guys. Very helpful to connect my dots. So Japan, they increased the interest rate in March, right? And then 2 months later, roughly, GameStop squeeze happened, right? The interesting thing is Japan just hiked the interest rate, right? After, if you add a 2 month, that will bring you to March, right? And I'm expecting this rally in March, right? But right now the fractals has been sped up due to this today's price action. So I think it will be earlier than this. I think it will be starting end of February, right? If it's earlier, I gotta still see a whole fractals, but as you can see, this I'm really revealing the entire fractals right now. Not the whole thing, but just kind of where we at. So this is kind of fractal that I figured out. And then it seems I don't want to reveal this thing earlier because I don't know. I wasn't sure if this is right one, right? So but now I see more indications of more pullback. I do and then how this thing is all kind of going towards the this kind of points here. I think there's gonna be a one more one or twice more pullback. Like I think we are somewhere here. I'm gonna show you the entire version after this, but as I'm seeing this, I'm seeing more and more they're running a very similar to the May area. So I don't know. I still have to there's a couple things that I still need to check, such as what's going to happen tomorrow, and also by mid-February. I still want to see if they're going to still continue to pull this down by end of mid-February. If those are all confirmed, then I can show you much more entire one. But for now, this is kind of what I can share with you, and who knows, they might change the fractals, right? So I'm really careful about sharing these things right now, but for now I think this is kind of what's what I'm seeing right now. So that's kind of it. So come back to this GameStop again. The today's price action, because of the whole Nvidia drops and market volatility, is the algo has been sped up. Okay. So the way it kind of accumulate this area seems very perfectly matching with this one, and also the way it's kind of moving up. And I did find out this fractal is because they're dropping a little bit more than I expected, because at the time I was tracking 2021 cycle, and then I realized that oh, what was the other pullback? It was perfectly matching here. So okay, they might using this fractal. So I brought this one, and it seems pretty interestingly matching with this one. So I was kind of start looking at from here, and then if they pop from here, and then what we saw from Roaring Kitty's tweets, and this create a pop. So he's kind of making this kind of fractals here right now. I personally think that not financial advice. I have no connection with Roaring Kitties or whatsoever. But in my opinion, based on the fractals and the way I look at, based on technical point of view, I do personally think that Roaring Kitties and other long forces, such as maybe, I don't know, some investors along with him, could possibly join this fractals exactly what he wanted to make, which is from the April-May run. That's just my personal opinion, and they need to make a bigger run. That's why they need to spend more time for accumulate. They need to spend for more time to set it up things perfectly. And then and based on today's price action, the algo sped up. I do possibly think that I think we are here. We dropped this much, pop due to the whole Roaring Kitty tweet. But however, based on the fractal, it has to pop, and then now we are sitting here. So I do expect much more sharper, a little bit more pullback here up to this level, possibly $25 level, $25.50 or 45.30, something like that. But based on this, I think we might see up to $25.70 by tomorrow. And then FOMC meeting is on Wednesday. So we have a FOMC meeting meeting coming up this week, which is 25th to 28th. 28 to 29th. Powell comes on 29th, which is Wednesday. Yeah, I do expect possible some sort of a pop here by FOMC meeting, very short-lived. After them, in a continued pullback by February 11th, which is the 1 week before OPEC's week. They're gonna try to kill all the options chains for call options, and then possible bottom will be at $23.60, and then I want to see this creating this three thump waves here, 1, 2, 3, before rally these things. Interestingly, Citizen, what's his name? Yeah, there was a guy named Citizen. He made a post here about the Trump, and I think that's very interesting. So I want to share this with you guys. Um, this guy, he's Bed Bath Beyond shareholders, and then he's been doing a lot of research for the community. And then he also shared a lot of Q related stuff, and I think that's also very interesting. I mean, I wasn't really into politics until I started to getting into more Bed Bath Beyond CD, and then I realized how things are very connected to the whole forces versus forces kind of fighting each other or something like that. But anyway, so he said March 4th will be the real inauguration. There's a reason why Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible. I did remember seeing that video. March 4th is historical significant because it was original inauguration day for U.S. president from 1789 to 1933. Links to documents and comments below. Very, very interesting. It's very interesting. And I did point out this one on January 24th. I said March and July are extremely important month, not financial advice, right? So the reason I mentioned this is because the GameStop fractals. And then interestingly, this thing also line up here, right? March 4th. And then before I start my stream, I look into a DJT, okay? And then I found something very interesting here. Once again, not financial advice, no connection to anybody, nobody. But this is just kind of me tracking some of the fractals, and based on RSI, I like to find certain patterns. That's I mean I'm a firm believer since the games. I mean because of GameStop, TA and AMC TA. I mean. There's things that I realized that such as the events like today, the markets just kind of start talking about the Chinese AI sectors, AI technologies on that, and how things kind of blowing up the markets, the carry trade, the Japanese interest rate, all that kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of things. It's not just only one thing I believe, but there's a lot multiple. Indications, multiple evidence that kind of how they shake up the markets. But based on my research and studies, I'm just saying that because there's people who don't believe in fractals, right? And that's completely fine, you believe what you believe, but based on how I see things and how since 2020 on GameStop, I realized the timing of RC announcement of his first stake, the timing of let's say AMC dilutions, some things like that. Any major events coming from the company directly or coming from the market makers or institutions or maybe a market in general. Any events, any major events, such as also Russia, Ukraine invasions or war, whatever how you want to call this one, in November 2022, which is starting in bear market. A lot of things are actually lining up. I have no idea, but it's people say, oh, maybe that's just coincidence, but I don't believe that. I mean there could be, but a lot of things just kind of, it seems that they're just waiting for that kind of time to just to capitulate things or run certain stocks, things like that, right? So yeah, I don't know, I'm trying to convey the right way, but the way I'm trying to say is that the fractals are very interesting. When you are looking into this much more deeper and deeper, a lot of things are actually, to me, I mean, it sounds like conspiracy theory, but a lot of things actually could be make a decision based on technical analysis actually, and it could sound really stupid, but And some people say, oh no, markets and events are creating technical analysis. I mean, the fractals. I mean, yeah, sure, but the major things are happening here and there like that, and then you could actually predict this kind of stuff. How I predict Nvidia, for example, right? Like, I don't just throw a number just to talk about, oh yeah, maybe Nvidia will crash this much, between this time. I don't just do that. I just look at whole thing, RSI, the bearish divergence, and rough estimate of the fractals, and it's kind of, I mean, somehow clicking there. I mean, obviously, like sometimes I don't really get things right all the time, but I'm learning also. I'm not, I'm learning every day, and then I've been learning a lot since last year that as I do more options seriously, I learned that finding that timing is extremely very difficult, especially I mean, any professional people who are doing this kind of stuff is, I mean, I think it's just more about the time, right? When is the time, right? When is the time to, time for crash? When is the time for, squeeze or rally, all this kind of stuff. It's about the time. So, the market makers are running the fractals every day. And then you as a trader or investors are really trying to find I don't know, find any possible ways to, use whatever you can to discover when is the right time, and then I've been learning so much, a lot, and then yeah, I'm just gonna continue digging this one, but anyway, maybe I talk too much. So I want to show you DJT for a second here. I'm a firm believer that DJT is also heavily shorted also. Some people might say that this DJT, maybe they're holding the short interest from when his company went into Chapter 11, all that kind of stuff. So I have no idea since when DJT short interest has been counting from, but DJT is very interesting because they're running a same cycle here. So this is right before the gap up here, right? And this gap up happened here, and then this went up almost $17 to 49, which is about, I think, about 700% or something. Oh, it's actually 200%. Sorry, so it's like 200%, right? So that's quite a lot too, right? But when you take a look at this one, I did find out that they're kind of running the same cycle here, but right now the things are very interesting. After they do all these fractals to push things back, and then now there's gonna start, then they start to run this thing, and then they do all kind of fracturing stuff before gap up. In 2023 and last year, this from here to here it went up only 30%. But here last year when they start run this thing, it went up almost 295%, which means that this is almost 10 times, right? So this means that there's a lot of naked shorts here, right? They try to push this thing before the elections. After the and then when the Trump is about to I mean when the election begins or before begins, this thing pops like that, and then they crush it after Donald Trump won the election, right? And then this thing whole happened, and then now the citizens find that evidence that the real inauguration is March 4th, right? So they're trying to match with this one. Actually, that's very interesting because I'm seeing from March about 5th or 6th or 7th, that's when I start to see a gap up phase here, which is very interesting. So if this is perfectly in line with what he says about the real inauguration day is March 4th or something like that. So based on this whole fractals here, this thing popped from here to here, A, right? This A, pull back here, pull back happen here, right? And I do think that maybe that's B, but this one was more stretched out version, right? Sometimes that's the problem, like I mentioned about the timing, finding the right timing is extremely difficult. We don't know how they run this thing, right? Because in this phase on this right side, 2023 December, this B phase was created so fast, but here it seems that they're just dragging this out, right? Instead of moving like up and down. They're just like up and down like that, right? It's very slow, so it's hard to find the timing, right? And now you see the C area, which was this capture, like this, pullback here, right? Sharp pullback, right? So when you look at RSI, I mean, you can see a much better way. So this thing, rally, pull back, hit this point, pull down, and then pop and pull down, right? So this whole thing happened. So you see here, so I see this is B, right? So the B phase is extremely fast, I think. So yeah, so from A to this level and pop B and push down. So A to here is just one here. The B is much more stretched out, right? So this is B. C, right? It push up and then sudden pull down, right? So now based on this fractal, I think that this is kind of where we at, right? So we're about to see another, maybe a gap up or something here, right? We could see some sort of a similar movement, maybe sudden increase of stock price, maybe due to the FOMC or something like that. Maybe market just go greens after FOMC, right? And then it's gonna pull back down, right? And then I think by March or by end of February or by early March. Sorry guys. So I think the by March, early March, will be the, so I think from to here, I think that will be FOMC meeting, right? That's the effects of FOMC meetings, and then that's very short-lived, maybe short rally, and then pull back, right? So once you see this kind of confirmation, I think that's when the ready for the gap up squeeze, right? So Donald Trump officially become a president, and then maybe that's when the short squeeze happened. Because this is so suppressed, then this time, if this rally, if this goes about 10 times higher than this one, then because this was about 200%, right? So if you add a 200% from here, oh sorry, not 200%, 2000%. I don't know if this actually popped like 2000%, right? But if it happened, they'll give you roughly $680. So I personally don't know how they're gonna run this thing, but that's kind of the setup based on the fractals right now. Right now, the Donald Trump, and if this rally, I think the rally could end on end of March 26th. I took a look at the option chain in DJT. Let's take a look. So April. So what did I say? Was it like March 17th, right? March 25th. So yeah, March 21st, not that one. April 17th might be better. So yeah. So due to today's price action, we're down like 9%. They're killing the option chains here, right? Options are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, right? They have a very high premium, but now they're killing the premium, right? Which is, I mean, it's good for the people who wants to buy in, right? Like looking for the right time to buy in. So yeah, I'll wait for that kind of March, earlier area. Maybe early March, maybe March 4th, or maybe end of Feb, to see how they're gonna run this thing. But yeah, I think it's more likely we'll see this. We need to see this confirmation first. We need to see this from this thing pop on the FOMC meeting, or maybe after FOMC meetings. So we need to see that confirmation first and then pull back down, right? And to see that. So yeah, that's DJT. So I ran through the whole thing, I think. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin had a drop. I mean, it didn't drop as much as Nvidia right now, and however, this thing is going to do soon, in my opinion. So I don't know if they already did this one. I think maybe it's already created this one. Yeah, maybe so you see this You see this thing did a 1 2 and pop and they drop like that. I think that pattern has been already created here, right? So this fractals, when you look at this one, this is created 1 2 and then pop and then drop like that, right? Very similar pattern, right? So maybe this will continue to maybe Bitcoin will maybe move up a little bit higher here, right? And then, but not as much as what happened in January 20th. It will just go a little bit higher and then maybe start to flush out, right? So that will be February. So when Bitcoin enter into February area, I think that's when you're gonna start to get flushed out here, and that's when beginning of the Bitcoin crash. So I know there's a little bit of a slightly different timing here, but that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Just a little bit. There's a little slight difference in the timing wise, but that's what the market makers wants to run, right? Wants to do. So it's not my choice. It's the big money, right? So that's what they decide to run this fractal like that. But end of February, Bitcoin will start to crash about 22%, heading into 80K, 83K, and March 15, 70K. So I think this will slowly decline like that, and the people will be like, yeah, sure, but yeah, you're gonna see that, right? I mean, Bitcoin is also entering into a bearish divergence. I did mention that before. So it's pretty much the same thing as Nvidia, right? Bitcoin was showing same bearish divergence from 2000 here, right? The all-time high RSI was here, but the price was continuing moving up, but RSI is going down. Same thing happening here. Last year, 2023 December was here. All-time high RSI was made in last year April. This thing declined. The price jump up again, but RSI is lower than 2024 March, right? So that's bearish divergence, and when that happened, just crash, right? So that's where we at here, like 2000. Maybe they're gonna run differently, maybe a slightly different fractal, but for now, I do see some similarity from November 2021, right? And then a lot of people have suspicious about the Bitcoin crash because how about GameStop, AMC, right? If Nvidia and Bitcoin crash, how about the market in general? We have a very interesting market here in 2025, in my opinion, because we've been kind of waiting for squeeze, right, in meme basket stocks, and we haven't seen the Bed Bath Beyond coming out from Chapter 11 yet. We are still waiting for the answer. So this year is going to be very interesting because all the S&P big tech stock is about to get liquidated, right? It's about to crash. Bitcoin is about to crash. However, the basket stock is going to jump up, like it's going to enter into squeeze territory. So that's very interesting for me that maybe they want to do a clean up operation this time, right? They want to liquidate. They want to use certain events like what happened today to Nvidia, revealing China's AI companies and shock the market. I think they're gonna slowly reveal some of the events, and they're gonna try to bring the narratives into the market, and then slowly bring the narratives in the market, and then slowly make it bearish, right? And then make people sell, right? And how about GameStop people? How about AMC people? The price. Look at the price. It's dropping. Oh shit! They make you sell, but when the time comes, it's gonna squeeze, right? So I think it's gonna be very complex cycle here. I have no idea why they decide to create like that, but that's where we at. And then I do believe that Bed Bath Beyond could be the trigger, or it could be a GameStop. Who knows? But something's gonna hit the market, especially the meme basket stocks. Has been heavily shorted entire years, or many years. It could maybe start from 10 years ago, or who knows, 2 years, 20 years ago, whatever they did before with the swaps and all that kind of crazy stuff. So yeah, I think they're gonna use Nvidia, they're gonna use Bitcoin to liquidate their assets, and they're gonna and there's a reason why they pumped this earlier, and then they're gonna drop this when meme basket stock is about to squeeze in this year cycle. So it's very interesting how they time that way. We've been always kind of speculate that when the market crash, the meme basket squeeze, right? And this year, I think 2025, this year is the year that we're gonna see that. It's gonna have a very interesting year. So yeah, you're gonna see. This is just the beginning of the whole event. But I'm really sorry to say that we have to wait until March, or end of February, and that's when the GameStop is gonna run, and that's and for AMC folks, also I don't know if I actually run these things again, but I'll run it again. Maybe I forgot to run this one. Sorry about that. So just to move on to AMC as the last one. As I kind of run the whole thing again, they're running a very similar cycle as 2020, to be honest. And that's why I was sticking to GameStop for 2020. But this time GameStop is kind of using 2024 April and May fractals, in my opinion. But I still need to confirm a couple more. But yeah, AMC is perfectly tracking 2020. This is, I believe, October or November. And then yeah, there's a gap here at $3, and they're gonna fill this gap at on February 6th. So and then after that, this thing will jump up again. However, I don't believe that we're gonna see a squeeze here where you see a gap up here, right? Because I was kind of expecting maybe gap up squeeze maybe in here in February, but as I look at the fractals again, in the GameStop, in February 13, I don't see gap up here, but I do see a pop here as well in GameStop, right? Which is same as this one. So I don't think this will be the phase for the squeeze. So I'm really sorry that, yeah, I thought maybe this area could be some sort of a gap up squeeze phase as what happened here. In May, because that's kind of what they did, with the fractals they have, there was a gap up. But it will be more like just kind of just very short-lived rally here, short-term small rally here, and then there's gonna be one more pullback. So do you guys remember in May, when GameStop run, right? GameStop had a run in May. Early May, I think it was like May 1st or 2nd here, right? This rally. So from May 2nd to May 6th, right? GameStop rally, right? When you look at AMC from May 2nd to May 6th, it was very short rally, and after that there was a pullback, right? And then GameStop had also pullback here, right? Yeah, this one. But then this gap up happened. While this thing gap up here, like making to this gap up stage, AMC really doesn't do anything. AMC was continue to suppress, right? So I think we're gonna see something similar like that, right? We're gonna have a pop, something like that, and then if AMC run like this fractals, when GameStop is gonna rally in March here. I think AMC will have some pullback, right? So and April 9th or 8th, depending on the how they're gonna run the speed of algo. Based on the speed right now, I look at May 9th or 8th. Sorry, not May. I'm sorry, April 8th or 9th. They're gonna do. I think this is a spot where you could expect another share offering. So let's see if they're gonna run like this. We're still here, AMC, and then gap filled at $3, pop with a GameStop as what happened here. So GameStop will start to rally based on this fractals on May 16th. February 26th or February 27th. When you look at February 26th or 7th. That's somewhere around here. So when this thing pop, maybe, you know, GameStop pop, right? Maybe, you know, this algo will speed up here, right? So maybe this thing could change. But anyway, so there could be a potential share offering, you know, if they want to make like that, right? So maybe there's a dilution again, you know, and then AMC enter into a 2021 squeeze zone in May, right? May and June, right? For GameStop, based on the speedo algo, GameStop will enter into a squeeze zone in June as well, right? So I personally don't know if they're gonna yeah, I think it could be in June, but I think we still gotta be careful to call this one. So I don't want to call it yet, but I'm still expecting. I still want to give a time frame for between June and July. But yeah, it seems like because the algo speed has been kind of sped up, because of the, you know, whole, you know, market, you know, crash today. Yeah, I think June will be the month we could see a squeeze, and then GameStop squeeze, and AMC 2021 squeeze phase also in line with June as well. So yeah, June might be the squeeze time, which is good because it's earlier. But you know, I still want to have I still want to open it up to July. You know, if market maker decide to delay this thing, right? So yeah, either June or July, we're gonna see a giant short squeeze event here, in my opinion. Not financial advice. I have no fucking idea if, you know, and I might be completely wrong. So, you know, when you look at this fractals here, AMC only go up to $8, right, or $9, but you have to multiply 10 times, because that's how I calculate, right? This based on this fractals, you know, this went up only from last this fractals was 2020 March after. Yeah, anyway, so this is the fractals from 2020, and then when I brought the fractals and then in this area, this one only go up to 20% or something, right? But this one move up about 200%, right? So it's like 10 times. So I think AMC is suppressed like 10 times, even higher. So if based on this fractal, AMC could go up to 200%, but if you have to add 10 times, which means that this can go up to 2000%, right? So if you add 2000%, that will give you something like 50 something, you know, 55 or 50 or 60 something, you know. And then this whole gap, there's a gaps here at 40, you know, 20, not 20, like 17 to 19, and there's 13. So I think this gap could be filled in this squeeze phase, and then we're gonna see after that, right? So so yeah, let's see, you know, how these things plays out. I don't wanna I mean, AMC still has a long time left. I mean, we are almost February now, so you know, you still got 4 months left for until a squeeze phase. And I know it's extremely difficult to wait, you know, for another month or two, and, you know, wait, you know, and going through this whole process of volatility. And I understand how difficult it is, and it's not easy. But you know, this is the play that you decide to join for years, or, you know, whatever years that you've been kind of in, and then you stick with it, because this is the year that you're gonna see you know, this is the year that we finally enter into final the short squeeze phase, like 2021. So yeah, we've been waiting for a long time, and this is the year finally. And then after this 2021 squeeze happened, there's one more for AMC, right? And I do think that because GameStop is running not 2020, they're running this repeat of a 2024 cycle, which means that they're gonna use one more opportunity for 2021 June squeeze, right? So I do think that will happen end of the year, earlier, if the algo sped up. If not, it will be next year, early next year. So and that will be the final short squeeze. So let's see, 1 second. So I'm just gonna do one last thing before I end my stream here. So yeah, so AMC had a June squeeze, which was higher, right? So AMC cannot just be done with this gen squeeze phase. There's gonna be one more left, right? One more bullet left, and that one more bullet could happen based on the fractals here, and the speed. 2021 January, right? Sorry, 2026 January. So yeah, this final giant squeeze could happen by next year. Early next year, right? So I'm gonna open to maybe February or March too, because algo could always get delay, due to the market makers changing the fractals, so not the fractals, sorry, speed of algo. But for now, based on that, the time of the final short squeeze phase after January squeeze, it could be next year, early next year. So you could expect you could expect a final June squeeze phase in January 26th, and then this will be the final short squeeze phase, and also same as GameStop, I think. So but yeah, I don't want to go too far, guys. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, AMC will hit this much, about at least $300 here by early next year, in my opinion, not financial advice. 2003 January. And then this will be June or July. Yeah, I'm just gonna open it because yeah, like, you never know how market makers delay sometimes, and they can speed things up, some fractals, but they can always delay things for certain weeks or certain month, so you wanted to open it up a little bit, so you want to be flexible. So this will be 2024, either June or July. I'll say that. What the hell? Where's AMC? Oh, there you go. So yeah, thanks to everyone for watching. I hope this is helpful. I have a YouTube channels. I haven't really I've been uploading some of the YouTube right now. I have 2 accounts. So I have a new account, which is U-Mergency, and this one is the new channel for yeah, not many people are watching this one, actually. I post about why Bitcoin crashed and things like that. It's like people don't like to hear this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? They rather want to listen to a hypes, right? So I mean, but it is what it is. I don't really I'm not really here for the views. I'm seeing like couple thousand views in here, which is good. Thanks for watching. I only have 1,000 subscribers, and I have a double of the viewers, which is good. But if anybody interested in it, I always do live streaming on X here. I also sometimes do on YouTube as well. So if you have any interest in subscribing, my YouTube channel, U-Mergency, is a YouTube channel here. So feel free to subscribe this one. I've got a new member here, so if anybody interested in the membership, feel free to join this one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll continue to give you guys some updates, how things happening here. But until February, it could be a little boring, so yeah, that's kind of what I see. So I think things will start to blow up in March. Not financial advice, but that's how I see it. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys in next updates. Have a good night.